Hi everyone! Today's sketch is at the Carturesti bookstore in Bucharest. It's a well-known bookstore in Bucharest, and it is a concept store that offers numerous products from books, magazines, DVDs, and also amazing tea. Tea accessories, organic cosmetics, clothes, accessories, art supplies. What I love about this place is that you can enjoy reading a few pages of a book, or you just relax on the stairs of the bookstore and skim over a book or magazine. I came here numerous times to sketch inside because it is a place where you could spend hours, and it is one of my happy places. The store is located in a beautiful and old house, surrounded by the old world atmosphere, by the elegant architecture, with ornate walls, high ceilings, French doors, and large windows. As with still lifes, interiors offer the advantage that you can control the compositional arrangement of the subject, as well as the lighting. Open doors and windows offer glimpses of scenes beyond the room, shafts of light which highlight certain objects, interesting angles and intersections formed by furniture, shelves, pictures, and so on. Most of the time, I start my sketching using a pencil to mark the general guidelines for perspective or to outline the large shapes. This time I changed the approach and started directly with a fine liner pen. I'm putting in the outlines of doors, furniture, bookshelves. I measure the relative heights and angles of the furniture carefully, making sure that I keep all the many vertical lines truly vertical. Before making the lines, I indicate various landmarks with dots. Then I'm blocking in the main shapes. When there are complex subjects with numerous elements like these shelves with CDs and DVDs, some repetitive shapes can be drawn in perspective, creating patterns. The biggest CDs are closer to the viewer and the farthest are receding with distance. Also, knowing that a CD case is rectangular, it can be repeated, creating a pattern. Also, the floral mold decorations on the ceiling can be drawn as a decorative pattern. Patterns can be found anywhere when rendering either an urban setting or natural subject. Sketching people helps to indicate the scale of the building. In this case, it is to show how tall is the ceiling. Also, an advantage of sketching people when they read is that they stay still for a longer time than usual. The ceiling is ornated with natural motifs and design, and I am sketching it intuitively as far as I can distinguish from this distance its shape and general pattern. Drawing patterns is a very relaxing activity, as can be observed when drawing mandalas or decorative tangles. My approach when sketching is to walk around the whole page and add here and there more details rather than to stick to a single object and to evolve further. The pen I'm using is Unipen 0.3 size, archival and waterproof ink. If the sketch is intended to be washed over with watercolor or diluted ink later, the initial line work is better to be drawn with waterproof, though there are situations when the ink is water soluble and interesting effects can be achieved with this. Having a limited time in a day to practice drawing, I find that urban sketching allows me to do it more often, when I find a bit of free time, because I carry with me sketching tools. Besides, the act of sketching is very rewarding activity, because you can see the results of your work almost immediately. Most of the times when urban sketching, I have a limited amount of time, and before starting the sketch I have to assess how complex and detailed it should be. From one side it can be with more mistakes, from the other side the pressure of time can produce a fresh and spontaneous work. When the pen work is complete, the next step is applying watercolor wash over the waterproof line work. The paper I'm using for this sketch is SCHUT watercolor paper 300 GSM hot pressed. Hot pressed paper allows a very smooth pen work. Unfortunately, the video part with watercolor washes I lost. The watercolor kit I used for this sketch are Cotman Winsor Newton, and the color palette is composed from yellow ochre, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, paint gray, burnt umber, and emerald green. To increase contrast and to highlight, I left white of the paper unpainted. The next step is pen work with markers. Some markers I'm using are watercolor markers that can be mixed on paper and are transparent. Other markers are waterproof and less transparent. They contain India ink and they are from Faber-Castell. First step of pen work is establishing the broad shadows, then building up the tone gradually. This step also allows to add details. The next step is to add details and shadows with fine liners and to add highlights with white roll gel. I have experimented with numerous media for urban sketching or sketching on location, and I find watercolor the most suitable medium because of its portability, versatility, compactness and speed. As general step, when sketching with watercolor on location, I start to paint from light to dark, in this case starting with yellow and ending with mixed grays. For a really fast sketch, I mix colors directly on paper.